Hey guys, welcome back to Story Time with Nikel. Today we're going to work on the facade of the house. So I'm going to turn mine into probably a house. You can do a room box out of it, or you can just do like I've got right here and do a fake facade. So we're going to get started on this front wall first today, and we'll have to do it probably in sections because sometimes I run over. But anyway, let's not forget our glasses this time because it'll help. And then let's get started. We're going to need some, this is the good board that I get from Hobby Lobby. And remember, I said that this one was $1.99. But it's got that, like I said, that coating. So we're going to need that. We'll need some scraps of that. Y'all will be able to tell in a minute exactly what that was. But anyway, so scraps, and then I've got another piece right here because we're going to use this for that front brick facade over there. Let's move our staircase, shall we? All right. And then I also picked this up at Hobby Lobby. I debated and I debated and I debated. These are all the same color, and they're made out of like cardboard with something over it. Let's see if you can see those little lines in there. You'll know what I'm talking about. But anyway, this one right here, put my glasses down, is a 22 by 28, and it's called a project sheet. And this one was $2.99. So, I don't know if y'all can see that or not. But anyway, it'll be upside down if I do it that way. But anyway, the reason why I got it is because you can almost see the little wood grain going down this way. And I was hoping to be able to use it and have the, almost look like the house had been painted, but I don't know. This one's a little bent, but anyway, I've already cut some of them, and I think I cut it wrong. We are going to need, in this project, we'll need, of course, our blades. You know how I feel about these blades. We'll need some scissors. We're going to need a marker. Outside, I have some tree limbs. They come down all the time. I love this saw. This is not sponsored, but I actually got this at Harbor Freight, I believe. Anyway, I love that little saw. And then we'll need us a couple of these. And you can get these at Hobby Lobby. You can get them at different places, but I actually find them cheaper at Walmart. So when I bought this one, it was like $2.96, and I think now they're $3 and something because that's just the way it rolls. And it's a little different color, but I like it. But anyway, so that's our fake greenery. And of course, we'll need our handy dandy glue gun, probably at some point. And then, let's see what else we're going to need. Oh, let's get, of course, our ruler. We're going to need a ruler. And then, of course, I like to use the bigger yardstick when I'm doing certain things. All right, so this is kind of what we got set up here. And then our paper for our brickwork on the house. And when we get to that, we're going to use the same brick that we did. And remember, I don't know if I told you or not, I like to take chopsticks because I got one of them that I have kind of filed down to a nice. A lot of people use the end of paintbrushes, which is fine. You can do that. But whenever I'm doing my brickwork and I've got it on the foam board, then I like to go back over it and scribe it and then go in there deep, and then so that when the light hits it just right, you can actually, it looks like brick. So anyway, that's why I use these chopsticks. But the end of a paintbrush or a dotting tool, any of that stuff will do. I just am able to keep up with those. So anyway, all right, let's get crafting. All right, this first wall I have decided, well, I guess this kind of decided it for me. But anyway, let's see, I think this is thicker. Oh yeah, we're going this side. All right, so this is 8 by 20. So that's what we're going to start with right there. We're going to go ahead. Work smarter, not harder. Sometimes you got to work with what you got. But, no, actually, it was about the same size as that. So that's kind of why I'm going with that. Y'all, I make a few passes. And then we'll cut that, and then alright. So that'll be that front piece right there underneath that window. So alright. Alright, let's do that. Alright. And then this. Let's really get this out real quick. I've been working on this off camera, so I don't know if you can see it or not. Oh, and I cheated. I didn't tell you this because it's optional. On that white piece of board that I got right there, I actually took this balsa wood. It was $1.99. What does it say? It's almost gone off of it. 3/16 and 3/8, I guess, and it's 36 inches long. But anyway, it's just soft. But I like to take the balsa wood and glue it to the top, and then I do the brick over it, kind of like the way I did it here. But anyway, I did that. Now, I did not do it on this one. I left it flat because I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. But anyway, so that just give it a little bit better look. And of course that side doesn't look the greatest. I apologize. But that side's a little bit better. But anyway, and of course, you know, that's just messed up. But anyway, that's how I did that. And so I just give it that little, so that when we put it up against our other window, it'll actually have some dimension to it. And you guys don't have to do what I'm doing, but that's how I did it. I didn't want you to do it and then say, well, mine doesn't look like hers. What did she not tell me? I hate when people used to give you recipes and they would leave out one or two ingredients so that when you come to church and you'd bring your dinner and they'd say, well, I don't know, yours is good, but Miss Ruth's is always better. Yeah, because Miss Ruth didn't tell you to add a pinch of salt, or Miss Ruth didn't tell you, you know, add a little flour. Anyway, so you always didn't have the same recipe. But anyway, I just wanted you to know what I did and why I did it. And if I didn't tell you and yours came out different, I didn't want you to think that I had steered you wrong. I'm not like that. You know, some people don't want to teach you stuff because they're afraid you'll take over. The more I teach you, the more less I have to do. So I'm just like share the knowledge, share the wealth. So anyway, so that's that board. And now we're going to get to our limbs over here with our saw. And I'm not going to do that in front of y'all. But anyway, we're going to fix to cut these up. And then we're going to kind of glue them onto that board. So give us just a second right here. Alright. Let's see. Anyway, this is the other side I was working on. And I had already glued those down. So I wanted you to see. I just kind of measured them just to see. And I put these little pins. I don't know if you can see that or not. But I have little T-pins in there. I guess is what you call them. Anyway, they're in there. And this I left open so that you could actually see what I was talking about by putting that border around it and how that wood was glued to that right there. So anyway, that's what that was. And the T-pins, the reason for that, let me go ahead and show you while I got that there. Voila. Okay. So imperfections I like to stick up to the top because it just looks more real, like that bush needs to be trimmed or whatever. And I pin them on there so that, first of all, so that I can move them however I need to, but second of all, so that I can store it until I figure out exactly what I'm going to do with it. But anyhow, The reason why I did that is so that it would pop out, so that it would look like a real bush, and then these little tree limbs. So anyway, that's what that is for. And that's what we're going to do onto this one here in a minute for that window that's underneath that. Actually, I think these are probably cut for this one. No? I guess I'll cut that other a little smaller, because I want you to be able to see the sticks, this whole part about it. My pen. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, just to give it a little something there. Alright, I'm gonna clean up this. I like to clean as I go, guys. I'm sorry. Alright. Now, my wall, since I'm not for sure exactly how I'm going to do it, I'm not going to cut mine and shorten it any at all right now. If you already know what your measurements are and how big you want it to make it or whatever, because now mine is going to be, I think what I have in my head is going to be big. So anyway, so what I did was I measured out. You can see I did it first with this board, and it just, yeah, I'm just not that great. So I cheated again, and I bought this wall that had this window in it, and I think the wall was like $40. But anyway, I actually cut the window out because it's made into that board, and then I decided that that's what I wanted, and that's how I wanted it. So I kind of got that going on, and then I hadn't glued this down yet because I'm not for sure if I'm going to cut this shorter or not. But anyway, so I've got it right like that, and I kind of like it. I'll show you what it looks like with the little bushes on it. This is going to be taller because this side is actually taller on that other side. But anyway, so it would be like that. So I think it's cute. But anyway, that's where we're going on that one. So I have decided that's the way that's going to be. All right. Now, this window, I went from the bottom because remember we've already got a height in here that our floor is going to have to be higher if you want a working door. And that's another thing I haven't thought about. If I'm going to make a working door, then I'm going to have to make the inside of the floor tall too. If not, your Barbies, your people, will actually, if you put them down, then, you know, that's where they are. But if you put that floor up where it's supposed to be, then it just kind of looks right. So that's the reason why I'm going to raise my floor up. If you're not going to raise your floor up and your door is not working, lower your window, okay? And that means also lower your bricks. Now, my bricks and stuff were made because I had planned on raising that floor up a couple, not probably as tall as the porch, but close. So mine is actually, where I started that window would probably be right at 8 from the bottom up. And then I went over to the side and I decided that I would go, that's 5. So you're going to be 8 from the bottom, 5 to this thing. And if your window is the same height with, you can do that if you want to. You know, it is 4, almost, no, it's actually, about 4 and, not quite 4.5. Let's see what it's going to be. In millimeters, I've got 10.5. So, anyway. And then I've left this over here because my door, I hadn't decided, because I'm really thinking about the inside of the house. How's the inside of it going to look? How's my layout going to be? Because I actually wanted the wall, this room to be the living room. And so that meant the door would have to be over here. So we're winging it, peeps. We're winging it. I'm just telling you right now, that's the reason why I told you that my channel is not made for children. Because I'm dyslexic. I have to see it in order to do it. And So if it's hard for an adult to follow me, it would be hard for a child to follow me. But these are more like guidelines so that you can follow along. But anyway, so let's get to the next step. Actually, guys, this is kind of where we're going to cut this off right now so that I can glue some of these parts together, but so that I don't get in trouble with YouTube about going over my minutes right now. So anyway, that's it for today, but this is part 1.